Alright, before we head out, I did get this nifty new piece of chest armor. It has a legendary buff on it. A 10% chance to disarm melee attackers, which most of the enemies I face seem to be ranged attackers, but doesn't matter. Still. Plus, it's a slight upgrade in overall protection and everything. So I'll go ahead and make this shadow. And I had a choice between the asbestos lining and extra energy resistance or extra inventory space, which actually also made the chest piece lighter as well, and so I went with that. I'm really digging this extra capacity to carry stuff. I think it gives you the equivalent of like 2 points in strength, plus makes the chest piece a little lighter on top of that, so I'm totally cool with that. But just in case, I'll go ahead and keep this old chest piece, and if I don't wind up using it, I could give it to a follower or something. I don't know. Whatever. Also, I need to level up before we leave. Finally get to buff my damage a bit. I already have my lockpicking and my hacking up there. Go ahead and buff my explosives a little bit. Sounds cool. And then go with my just basic automatic weapons, which is most of what I carry except for my sniper. When I have points later, I'll invest in single-shot rifles or something. Now, while we were gone, while I was running around here trying to figure out why my settlers were unhappy, which I did figure it out, I think, this random settler ran up and told me that a friend of hers had been kidnapped over here at the federal ration stockpile, where we went and cleared that place out a few videos ago. So it's sending me back there, and this is like a kidnapping quest for Sanctuary Hills, for our neighborhood. Kind of a surprise. Wasn't expecting her just to run up and give me a quest out of the blue, but she did. So I think we'll go do that just because it's timed. And once I accepted it, I guess the clock started ticking. So I'm going to take care of that right now. I know I said we were going to make our way towards Diamond City, and I really do plan on that. But this, what did you say, radiant questing with the whole Minutemen thing, it's just out of control. Every time I do one thing, it adds 2 more things. So at some point I have to draw a line and say, look, okay, this whole going and finding my son thing, we need to get on that. We need to kind of chill out on this whole, settling the whole Commonwealth for a minute. We'll get around to it, but we don't have to do it this second.
Excuse me.
I can patch you up if you need it. For a small fee, of course.
Any news out there, Doctor?
I've been out of the loop. A lot of sick and injured taking up my time. Now, if you need treatment, let me know.
Actually, I need some supplies for the road.
I suppose I could spare some stim packs.
I'd like to have seen her before she became a ghoul. Poor thing. Highly irradiated ghoul doctor out here in the middle. Just crazy. Totally random. Wonder if she's got any good stuff. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be finding out either. Okay, I'll tell you what. I don't have that much Radix on me right now that I can just throw away to go search through her stuff. I think I'll save that for another time. All right, now I'm going to assume that the raiders have respawned here. Now, I remember fast traveling back here right after I cleared it out because we were heading off from here. In fact, I think we cleared this place out because we kind of stumbled on it along the way. I was headed somewhere else, probably on a Minuteman quest or whatever, but I cleared it out, left, went and dropped my stuff off, did the usual, and came back, and as soon as I spawned in, I got attacked by raiders because it spawned me like right there in the middle of nowhere. The turrets hadn't respawned yet, but some of the raiders had out front. I didn't bother to check inside. Oh, look at this dude jumping in a set of power armor. Son of a bitch. I could have jacked that power armor too. Had he not jumped inside of it. Punk ass. I wonder if that power armor respawns. Not like I really care, but it's cool to have for decoration, especially in like garages and stuff. But what do you do? Throw a grenade on himself? What a dumbass. I'm gonna take that. Boy, what I wouldn't give for about 10,000 rounds of 10mm ammo and just roll with it. I had 10,000 rounds of the 10mm and 10,000 rounds of the 45. Man, I'd be set. I'd be out of control, actually. Take that. Wow, that dude's got some health, doesn't he? Well, it'd help if I could get a headshot off on... Oh, that should have been a good shot. Okay. I probably should have taken her down in 3 rounds. Oh well. Really like the sniping in this game. Anyway, so the good thing about this is it should all still be open. I don't know how much of the traps have respawned or any of that. But if there's enemies back, which obviously there are, then maybe the loot is back too. Or at least some of it. Totally cool with that. This is definitely worth doing. Now, see, what I'm seeing is if you just naturally play through every part of the game, if you do a bunch of stuff for the Minutemen, if you do a bunch of stuff for the Brotherhood, I don't know what other factions you run into in the game. We haven't even gotten there yet. But I'm guessing that it sends you to these places anyway, because I've already made return trips a couple times to places I'd already investigated on my own. And so I'm thinking in future playthroughs, although it may be completely random too. I'm sure they don't send you to the same place each time. A lot of that is probably random to make each playthrough, you know, kind of fresh, which it's awesome. Totally cool with that. But in future playthroughs, I think I'll do less of sticking my nose in every corner along the way, knowing that as long as I stay active with the different factions, that they're going to send me there anyway, at random, and make it different, make it new, you know, and go ahead and follow it out. I was kind of hesitant to do a lot of that early on because I didn't really want to jump past other storylines and stuff like that. I remember I didn't go rescue that one farmer's kidnapped wife just for that reason. Now, looking back, I obviously should have just gone to wherever it sent me, and that would have been a new place to discover, and so on and so forth. But, you know, you know what? It really doesn't matter. Just do what you want to do type thing, you know? I don't think there's any wrong of it. If you want to look in every single building along the way, great. If you want to just make a beeline for a place, well, it'll probably send you back to half those buildings anyway. I just have this natural need to see everything, you know? I mean, it's a Fallout game, shit. Who doesn't want to see the whole world that they created here? I can say one thing, not like I have extensive experience with the subways here yet, because that being an underground area, the one or two that we've gone to explore already have been a little different. Different enemies if nothing else, but I don't get that cut and paste feel. But no two places have been the same yet. Like, everything's unique. To me, anyway, so far. You know, each little camp that you come across like this right here is different, designed different. You can tell the difference between, like, raiders and super mutants, and then you come across a place, you know, it's filled with ghouls and stuff. It's just all, it's all random. It's all, yeah, I really dig that. Makes the whole world feel more natural. Well, I'm kind of glad these have respawned, because I like the stuff that they drop. I really do.
Come on, little girl.
Another good thing about already having been here is pretty much know where a lot of this stuff is at. Assuming the raiders are all in the same spots.
Aw, man, come back. I was having fun.
In fact, I know where he's at. He's underneath me. He's in the bunker itself that leads to the rest of this place. There was a story behind this place when we were here before. Basically this was a storehouse, and not only were, I guess, some of the people here kind of you know, pilfering a little bit for themselves, but apparently some of the local civilians had figured out that there was kind of a back door into this place where you could tunnel through and get into the storehouse from behind. So they started setting up, you know, guards and stuff to keep people from doing that. Well, that series of tunnels is basically where all the raiders were holed out, and probably where they're keeping our kidnapped settler. Not sure exactly what we're supposed to do with our settler once we find him or her, but so we'll figure that out when we get there. First things first is to find him.
That's it.
Honestly, an excuse to hack a few more computers, too. I hope they're all reset, along with traps and all that good stuff. Like I say, if the turrets are back, then a lot of this stuff will be back, too, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure I unlocked that computer last time I was here, so good deal. Notice the look of these shacks here. That's kind of what I kind of envision with my settlements. Now, sometimes I get a little too, I don't know, OCD about it, I guess, and I want things to be a little even, and, you know, I'll start to building, and I'll try to keep it kind of neat sometimes, but I like this kind of ramshackle, just thrown together look too. That's really Fallout-ish to me. I really need to keep that in mind with my own settlements too, is to keep them looking like they, you know, they're part of the world. I understand some people have these settlements and they look like these, you know, pre-war fabricated, you know, military establishments, you know, these bases with castles and all this stuff. I've seen some pretty cool stuff on videos. People who've created huge generator rooms and rows of power armor and all this other stuff, and all very neat and well designed. I think the coolest one I saw was one guy who had, he'd either done a glitch for materials or he had already literally scoured the entire world twice and had everybody that could ship anything ship it to Sanctuary, because he created a mansion over each house, essentially, in Sanctuary. And he had a bar, and he had an inn, and he had a little arena, you know, where you could fight and stuff, and he had it all decked out and decorated and lights up everywhere, different colored lights and blinking this and that. And I mean, it was wow, like a lot of time. I can say each building probably you know, took him a while, you know, took him a day on each one to design it just right. But it was cool, you know, with balconies, and he even kind of toured through the inside of each place, and it was really well designed, really cool. The materials it would take to make that, though, I mean, I went through a ton of stuff just in what I did on Sanctuary so far, and that was really just one building, pretty much, and some defenses. Oh, 2 for 2. Takes to snipe the crap out of this turret, too. That's right. There we go. Oh, we can hear the radio now. That's cool. There have been times where the radio is playing, but it doesn't come through the videos. I'm assuming that's to protect the videos from copyright infraction. I think that's amazing. If Bethesda did that, then that means they're really, really being friendly towards the YouTube, the content creators, you know, people like myself who put this stuff up here, because that's the stuff that YouTube flags, because you know, Bethesda doesn't own that. They may have a license to use it, but they don't own it. It's the record companies that own all that stuff, especially the oldies. Now, there was some stuff I believe was written specifically for Bethesda, and maybe that comes through when the other stuff doesn't. I don't know. And I would hope that they don't have that flagged for users and stuff, but haven't run into any problems. Bethesda's not complaining about it, and that's smart. Honestly, if I made video games and people were putting up YouTube videos about it and watching it, I would imagine people would want to go buy that game. Want to go buy things pertaining to that game. Just have the game also just to be cool type thing if it's popular, you know, so that's just like free advertising, really. Why would you knock that? Some game developers are really bad about that. I think Nintendo is one of the worst, from what I've heard. Don't personally even have a Wii, so I haven't experienced that, but from what I understand, they'll damn near take you to court if you put up anything pertaining to any of their video games on a YouTube video. And I'm like, and your shit's in last place for a reason, guys. I'm not knocking those who like Wii games, some Nintendo games and stuff, sure, but there's a reason their console is dead last. You know, big part of it is their whole thinking as far as that goes, man. Be there for your fans, and your fans will be there for you. You know, once a developer gains the trust of their fan base, it takes a lot for them to lose that, you know?
Please, you gotta help me!
Are you the one who was kidnapped?
Oh, thank God.
Duh.
They're holding me for ransom, but they're getting tired of waiting, and I don't think we have the money.
Don't worry. I'm here to rescue you.
Oh my God. Thank you. Let's go.
I wonder if she'll just tag along. You know, I'm thinking, I don't know this, but I'm guessing. Snubnose 44, huh? Cool. That if we hadn't killed the boss last time we were here, and the boss was still here, I'm assuming the boss didn't respawn. Oh, maybe she did. Maybe we can go find her. But I think her name was Red Turret. Like it's for turrets or something. Anyway. had we not killed her last time, we'd probably have to go kill her
I
now.
don't know. Jumping in shadows. Yeah, you're probably right. Gotta cut down on the jet, I guess. I don't start talking crazy.
Yeah, I remember picking up all this stuff. I really do. So all this respawned. It respawned the whole area.
What the?
I guess if you explore a lot of these areas before you get a quest for these areas, though, that's something to keep in mind. Is that it will... What did he do? Flank me? Yeah, he did. Take that.
For now.
That'd be a way to get a lot of extra stuff. Clear a place out, get a quest for that place, all that stuff comes back, clear it out again. Don't know if that would work every time, but I'm not gonna worry about it. The world is full of stuff. I mean, I can't finish a simple fetch 'em quest without maxing out my inventory and having to leave stuff behind. So it's not like there's any shortage of things to go get. Yeah, this is relocked again. This is pretty cool.
Sweet.
That's how I knew it was there. I remember coming to get it last time. There's some more turrets in this place too.
Better run.
No, I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna come find you. I'm just looking first. I want to make sure I don't miss too much stuff. I gotta remember my way through this place, actually. Oh, there we go.
You're gonna fucking pay for that.
Damn, that increase in my two-handed weapon damage did some good, didn't it? That's stacked with sneak attacks, so it's not... Okay, so that last point I put in added 20% more damage to automatic weapons, right? But then the sneak attack adds, what, 2.5 times that total, whatever that is. So let's say my weapon does 10 points. Well, 40%, I believe it's at 40% now, more of that is 14 points. So instead of 2.5 times 10, which would be 25, now it's 2.5 times 14, which would be, oh, I gotta do the math, 35? And so it starts to really stack up, and I can see making a lot of stuff stack up. That's what I was looking at with the melee build, is all the things that can pertain to your melee perks. There's some of the stuff that you would think would go along with ranged also goes towards melee stuff too. And so you start stacking all that, and becomes pretty effective. Not only that, but you can take buffs for strength and temporary extra melee damage. I think that's Yao Guai steaks or ribs or something. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, you can... No, I'm destroying stuff now. It's going to get even better. Of course, we'll be running into heavily armored opponents and stuff, I'm sure. I'm not going to be doing that to a Deathclaw. Put it that way. But, you know... Oh, there was a trap here, wasn't there? Oh, I'm sorry, doggy. You took the brunt of that, didn't you? Yep, there's the trigger. Well, at least it let me have it. Sorry about that, dude. Man, poor guy. Anyway, start concentrating on armor piercing, maybe. A little bit less damage overall, I guess, but ignoring a lot of armor. I would think just about everything on this difficulty would have an armor rating, probably higher than normal, especially like death claws and stuff like that.
Nice.
And of course, anybody in power armor and what have you. So, you know, might come in more handy than, you know, just a straight damage buff. Might do a comparison. Might take the same gun and put armor-piercing receiver on one and a regular or a hardened auto receiver on the other, and see what the difference is. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, do the shakes. All right. How did we get around this place last time? I don't really remember where to go. I remember there was a little side tunnel that led off to the boss here. I'm assuming the boss wouldn't be back, but there'd probably still be some raiders down there and a turret or two, I think. I really don't remember. don't remember where all the traps were either. Oh, I think this just leads back to the middle area. By the storeroom. Yeah. That's where she was, the captive. Alright, I could really use all this to build. I have 2 settlements that I would like to at least go put some kind of defenses up. That's the cool thing about these turrets is it gives me like circuitry and stuff like that. To make
I want to trade
some
a few
turrets.
things.
Sure.
What's she rolling with? Well, at least she didn't come with just a basic pipe pistol, which most settlers do. At least she's sort of prepared. You know what? Let her have this. Anything else? Yeah, she can have that too. If she's going back to my settlement, might as well. Try to give my settlers all the stuff I'm not using, pretty much. I still have just tons of it. I can't tell you how many 10mm pistols I have in storage between all the settlements and stuff, because a lot of times I'll go to a new settlement, drop off all my junk, and drop off whatever weapons I'm not using, unless there's a merchant right there to sell them to. And so I've got like tons of 10mm, pipe pistols, pipe rifles, all that kind of stuff. Is there a trap right here? Oh shit, I don't really remember.
Hey.
He's a raider. Boom! Well, take the ammo. So I don't think... Oh, there's a locked door down there. There should be some ammo down here. If I remember right. There was like a legendary raider right here when I came through last time. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Doesn't really matter what it is, I'll take it. One thing about hardcore mode in New Vegas is ammo had weight. And I'm thinking with all the salvage and all the stuff, if ammo had weight in this too, that would be hardcore. You'd almost be pressed to take the strong back perk just for your ammo, just for your basic necessity type stuff. I already keep food and healing items because they're just as useful as stim packs. So that part of the hardcore element is really there anyway. Honestly, as often as I eat food and drinks and stuff anyway, I would be just fine on hardcore mode. Okay, we just came through here. That wasn't the boss area, though. I don't really remember. There's a side tunnel that I'm just completely missing here. On the other side over there, but I don't know how to... I don't know. I'm not all that worried about it. Like I said, the boss isn't... But I've got my captive anyway. It'd be nice to grab a few more turrets and stuff. Hopefully get some targeting cards and stuff off them, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Let's just get out of here. Let's get this settler back and get my reward or whatever, and then I've got to go pick up a bobblehead. A bobblehead that I saw and missed. Well, I didn't see it at the time. I saw it on replay. In my own video, I looked at it and I said, wow. And I looked right at it and just, I don't know, I guess my eyes were everywhere but straight ahead, right? Basically. She's with me. I'm assuming I can just fast travel. That should get her back. If not, then, well, she's going to have to hoof it back on foot. Oh, I made a mention earlier, sorry, about the, my settlers not being happy, and I figured out why. I had put a lot of, in a lot of the rooms, I'd put 2 beds in the same room. And as soon as I started taking 1 bed out of each room and just leaving 1 in there, they got happier. The happiness started going back up. I don't know why.
I don't know how to thank you for that rescue you pulled off.
No, don't worry about it.
You're welcome.
It's good to know we can count on the Minutemen when we need them.
Well, that's why you're here. Because she's acting like this is a settlement that we just went and helped. But that's cool. I guess it counts as a quest complete. Got our trust up for the Minutemen, whatever that counts for. But anyway, so I took a bed out of each room, and a lot of these beds showed red as if there wasn't a person there to sleep in them. I had 25 beds up, and only like, what, 15, 17 people here? And anyway, once I did that, they started getting happier, and then I started putting beds back into single rooms. And all of a sudden, they were cool with that. So, anyway. Whatever, it's just... And notice I did make a house over there by the entrance to Sanctuary too, and put a bed in there, so I'd have a single place to put a bed. Anyway, so I have enough beds for everybody, and they all come up. When you look at them, when you're in create mode, and you look at something, it'll show red if it says it doesn't have a person either assigned to it or available for it. Like if you have 10 beds and only 7 people, 3 of those beds are going to show up red. What's this? Who's that? What is this, a merchant? See, if I had a handle, what was his name, Slag? Okay, did I just literally miss every single round? I think I really don't like the scope, guys. I really don't. Look at this shit! Man! I keep forgetting to take this crap off of my gun. And I start the video and I'm like, oh, I'll just do it later. And then I run around and I waste so much ammo with this thing. But not a fan. I'm not a fan. I love the feature of the scope on the perforator in Fallout 3 because it was about as close as you were going to get to truly aiming down the sights with an assault rifle. I was totally down with that. But now that you can aim down the sights with whatever, in a much better fashion than even New Vegas, the gunplay is very smooth. This scope is just getting in the way now. Right. So anyway, if you have way too many beds for your settlers and they're still crying, especially if you walk by and they randomly say something like, we're having to sleep in shifts here, and your happiness is down in like the 20 or 30% or something, that might have something to do with it. Run around and look at your beds and see how many of them are showing unassigned. Because they'll automatically sleep in one when you make it. And I also found when I put beds back in single rooms, I don't know if I wouldn't think putting 2 in the same room has really anything to do with it. But what I did was I just went around and found all the ones that were red and that were doubled up. And I took them out. And then I slowly went and found single rooms around Sanctuary, just in random houses and stuff. And rooms and stuff. And I would put them down and I would wait for it to go from red to gold or red to yellow. And, or green or whatever color. I'm colorblind. Anyway, whatever. And as soon as it would change, all of a sudden I had enough beds for everybody. And so now I'm not going to make any until I get a new settler. If I go and I've got 17 beds up and I've got 18 settlers and it shows my beds being in the red, which it will when you go into creation mode, it'll show along the top if you have a deficit in any of your numbers, you know. And my food, my water, and hell, my electricity's almost up there now too, power and stuff. So everything's up there. You know, the only thing I'm really lacking is merchants, which. Yeah, I remember this trap got me last time. Which I can't even start making the merchant stands, you know, the little marketplace and stuff. I can't even do that yet. So once I start doing all that, hopefully their happiness will start spiking back up again. But they got plenty of food and power and everything else. And they I don't know what happened. Something glitched. Anyway, so I took the beds out and put them back and waited to make sure somebody was going to sleep in them and had assigned themselves to them. So apparently your settlers will pick one for themselves, but you have to give it a second. It took like 10 or 15 seconds for it to actually register, and then without even having to assign it, the settlers reassign themselves to new beds. So anyway, whatever. I believe I solved that problem, and the happiness jumped up to 40 something now, but that still seems really low. The happiness at my drive-in theater is, oh geez, what, 80 or something? And it's got a few less people and about the same amount of stuff. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. It's a learning process. I'll figure it out eventually. But that was part of the problem anyway. So if you're running into that is one bit of advice I can give you, is go around and make sure that even if you have enough beds, make sure they're actually using them. Because they might not be. Maybe you made them too fast, you know, put a bunch of beds together and they never had time to register, so they just didn't bother to assign themselves to any of them or something. I don't know.
Protectron on duty. Warning. Union violation detected. Last recorded break was 9,999 hours ago.
His last break was... Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so I don't know what his default personality is there. I guess construction worker or something. Maybe. I think last time I was here I assigned him as a fireman because I heard that all of these idiots were obsessed with fire and molten steel and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll make him a fireman. If he sees anybody getting fiery, he can go put him out with his cryo gun. That's what they come stock with as a fireman or something. Anyway. That would have been funny to see him running around blasting all these forged with his cryo. That's the second time that robot tripped that wire and the grenades didn't fall. I'm glad they didn't. They would have got me that time, I think. This is all restocked. Isn't this beautiful? Sorry, I gotta have this because this place is chock full of all the good stuff. Lots of adhesive and all kind. Yeah, look at that. Duct tape in every other corner and totally worth it. Plus, I'm getting wood and stuff off of these brooms. I think I got spoiled when I first got to Sanctuaries, running around and salvaging, scrapping all of the wood that was everywhere, and then all the cars and old buildings and just junk scrap just laying around, and wound up with, you know, 1,000 metal and 1,000 wood. Had plenty of stuff to work with. And then you get to your next settlement and there's like one tree and maybe a piece of fence, and that's it. Anything else you want to build, you got to take that out of your pocket. And it's like, oh wow, okay. I'm glad they didn't respawn. I can kind of look around here at my leisure. I know where the bobblehead is. It's in the room where I fought the boss. It's literally sitting on the wall behind him. If he respawns, boy, that would just suck. Watch, none of them respawn except for just him. He was an absolute bitch. Well, he wasn't so bad. It was just all of his friends that were with him. And the fact that there was really almost no cover in that place. Unless you basically hugged an I-beam and hid behind it. And he's just spamming laser at you like the entire fight. Not to mention you got this bitch running around with a flamethrower. Then a bunch of one dude running around with a baseball bat. He almost killed me. Knocked me senseless in a corner. Yeah, it's just a bad fight. That actually took a couple tries. That one did. It was kind of nasty. If you can get through the first 5 seconds, then you're probably good. It's one of those kind of fights. It's the initial ambush, and figured out that if you can go plant a few mines, which I really didn't have any. Had I had a few bottle cap mines, had I not wasted them all already, I could have laid them out there for him and made that fight much, much easier. Oh, and the trick is also, if you're trying to save Jake, who was the boy who we went to, it was optional, you know, save him at the same time and convince him to return home to reconcile with his family and all that, which is a good thing. Because he was definitely a misguided idiot. Or, you know, I'm not even saying idiot, because he seemed to be legitimately remorseful. He was a misguided dude who did a really idiotic thing, knowing damn well that the reasons were stupid, but couldn't think of anything better to do, type of thing, and just realized how foolish it was, and I learned his lesson. At least you hope. You can only hope someone learns, unless you can't really truly know, unless they turn from whatever they were doing, you know, and that only time will tell. But anyway, he also, when you first walk into the boss fight, there's dialogue there, and it lets you know where this asshole was who's running these forged idiots. He needed to go. He needed to die. Most definitely. He made the world a better place, getting rid of him. There we go. Explosive bobblehead. Permanently gain 15% damage with explosive. I'll take that. So, counting the 25% I just upgraded, so that's a 40% boost to my explosives right there. How awesome is that? But anyway, in the dialogue, you see what a piece of work that Raider boss was. He was even the boss over the idiots that we had to fight over there at the Corvega assembly plant. He was their boss. And then you saw that the kid was really misguided. Like, he was, well, probably ignoring the obvious, right? But then once he was faced with it and this guy was really calling him on his stuff and he got slapped with the dose of reality, is that he had gotten mixed up with seriously the wrong people, which he probably knew. But until you see how wrong some people can really be, it's, you know, then reality hits you and then sometimes it's too late, you know? But yeah, I didn't mind taking him home. And then his mom just put her foot down and she told Dad and the son, just shut up. It's over. It's done. Dragging this along is just going to add to more of what brought this shit about in the first place. Stop it right here. We'll start fresh. Anything bad happens from here, we'll deal with it as it comes. But what's been done is done. It's undone. You're safe. He's safe. We're alive. We can breathe. We can go on. Lesson learned. Let's stay home. And I don't want to hear anything else about it. Totally respected that. I'm over here applauding, right? I'm clapping. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Tear into their ass. Tell them to shut up. Tell them to grow up. I thought that was awesome. So that was pretty cool. It wasn't just a fetch 'em quest this time. It was actually a story, all right? So I'm going to do some building here with the stuff that I just grabbed, and we got our bobblehead, and then we'll see where we go from here. Probably another Minutemen quest, but I do want to get to Diamond City. We'll get there eventually. Anyway, want to subscribe? Click that button up top. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.